Under 4 to play, still up by 2. Kyrie fakes the 3 and then hits the floater. Nets lead by 4. If one of these guys gets going, look out. Nets now 4-point lead. Kevin Huerter turns it over. Nets take advantage. Durant the finish. Nets lead by 6. Kyrie the good dish to KD in a little bit of a run. So with a minute and a half left, Nets up by 4. KD is going to beat Reddish for the bucket, and that was the exclamation point they needed. Durant, 32 points, 5 of which were scored in overtime. Nets win 132-128, and afterwards some jerseys for 2 Chainz. Let's hear from the Nets.
All of us realize that we still have a level to get to, individually and then collectively as a group. I still play this game and continue to get better. I haven't mastered anything at this game as well, no matter what people call us great or anything like that. It's just we humble ourselves to know when we go out there, 0-0 is all we're focused on, going out there and leaving out there on the floor.
I think for this team, each guy is going to be a different night, and so whoever's number is called, be able to step up and contribute in whatever way the team needs it. And so tonight was one of those, one of those keys, and, it's going to be like that throughout the course of the year.
Last night a good indication of what's going to make this team so tough to stop. Durant, Harden, and Irving combined to score or assist on 116 of the Nets' 132 points. That's good, but here's something to watch. Since the 3 of these have played together, since 3 of these players have played together January 16th, Durant, Irving, and Harden rank 1st, 2nd, and 3rd respectively in minutes per game league-wide. So you got to get that chemistry going, but usage perhaps down the stretch could be an issue. Let's bring back Matt Barnes. So last night, Atlanta started that 3-game road trip for the Nets with 10 of their next 13 on the road. Steve Nash had said he looks forward to getting more practice this week with the team on the road. Matt, could you explain how a road trip could be a benefit for the Nets with more time to work?
The road trip is going to be big for them because they're first and foremost going to be together every day, but second, getting that practice time. When you're adding someone like a James Harden and then Kyrie coming back off his break, it's going to take some time to gel. I think offensively, we've never seen a 3-headed monster like we've seen in Brooklyn. Arguably 3 out of the 5 best bucket getters in the NBA at any given time. So down the stretch, we're going to have to figure out whoever's hot is probably going to get that last shot. But the 2 things that concern me about this team is, one, you mentioned, I feel like Kevin Durant is playing a lot of minutes, especially considering coming off an Achilles tear. And then 2, they're very small on the defensive end. Outside of DeAndre Jordan, when DeAndre Jordan goes out, you'll see someone like Kevin Durant or Jeff Green playing the 5, which is an advantage on the offensive side. But defensive side, it's a liability. So look for them to make a few moves coming into the trade deadline. But I love what I'm seeing offensively, and they still haven't even hit on all cylinders yet.
And you talk about the road trip up next for Brooklyn at Oklahoma City on Friday night. Maybe an extended or abbreviated training camp when they get away from home for the next couple of weeks. Matt Barnes going to be spending time with us on SportsCenter. Matt, thank you.
No problem.
Let's keep it going here, Matt. The Jazz on a 9-game winning streak. We go to Salt Lake City. It's an NBA best streak. It's on the line with Luka and company coming to town. Remember, no Donovan Mitchell, though. He's in the concussion protocol. Mike Conley finds Rudy Gobert in the paint, who throws that one down. And we're in the second quarter here still. All right, off the miss. Gobert, the finish. Gobert finished with 29 points and 20 rebounds. How about the plus-minus of +12? They'll take it. Mike Conley, he finished with 17 points and a plus-minus of +14. That's a game high. This is a very deep Jazz team as well. They get help off the bench from Jordan Clarkson. Over the 9-game streak, Clarkson averaging almost 19 points per game coming off the bench. He was dominant again, dropping a season-high 31 points. He was 11 of 21 from the floor. How about that when you can just say, hey, all right, somebody else needs a break. Come on in, Jordan. He hits it like that. They continue to be the best 3-point shooting team in the league as well. This is third quarter now. They're up 82-65. Joe Ingles, top of the key. He had 7 threes in the game. And then here, they're up by 13 points. Shot clock winding down. No problem for Mike Conley. They had 16 threes on the night as they win their 10th straight game, 116-104. So let's take a look inside this winning streak by Utah. Again, the long ball has been key. 8 straight games now with at least 15 threes. That's tied for the second longest streak in NBA history. The Rockets did it 10 straight times in 2019, so they're almost there. Since the streak began on January 8th, the Jazz ranked 5th in the league in offensive efficiency and 3rd in defensive efficiency. So they're a very balanced team. They're the only team in the top 5 in both categories. And there's a saying that good teams win, but great teams cover. The Jazz are doing both. 9 straight where Utah has both won and covered the spread. It's tied for the 3rd longest streak in the last 3 decades. So take that. They're going to continue their winning ways when they host the Mavericks again tomorrow before playing 3 of their next 4 games on the road. Actually, it wasn't a prediction. I'm saying that that's the goal, is to continue the winning. Yeah, Utah favored to win each of their next 5 games, according to ESPN's BPI, with their toughest challenge coming against the Nuggets, who are riding a 5-game winning streak. LeBron James and the Lakers visiting Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Whew. That right there, just that shot is cool, and it really was a good, precursor to what the night ended up being in Philadelphia. Look at everybody honoring Kobe and Gigi. Custom shoes, that was Joel Embiid, and before the game, a moment of silence for Kobe Bryant on the 1-year anniversary of his death. A Philly native, of course. LeBron showing up in the first half and then some, with the Lakers down 8. Shoving through that lane there, some contact. He drives on Furkan Korkmaz and lays it in. He had 16 points in the paint in the first half. That tied for his most in any half since joining the Lakers. And he takes that Ben Simmons, finishing that through contact. 22 points, 9 of 13 in the first half. That's the 3rd straight half with at least 20 points, tying the longest streak in his last 10 seasons. Remember everybody talking about him for MVP? That's why. How about this? Embiid goes up for the dunk. LeBron, you see the contact? And Embiid, that's a big man falling hard to the floor. He is in some pain. LeBron speaking with the referee over his role in the fall. We've seen LeBron do that a time or two. He'd get up, he'd be okay, but here's what Embiid had to say after.
You look at it, that's a very dangerous play. And I guarantee you that if it was me, I would have probably been ejected.
Well, he stayed in the game. Embiid would keep going, too. Get some space here to knock down the 3. There you go. He's grimacing, so he's still hurting. And if you're as big as Embiid is and you fall to the floor like that, you'd probably be hurting, too. Sixers go up by 9 to the 4th quarter, up a dozen. Ben Simmons hits Danny Green in transition. Ben Simmons is 17-point triple-double. There you go. About a minute to play. It's a 4-point game. LeBron drives, kicks it to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in the corner for 3, yes. So it's a 1-point game. Home team still up. 15 seconds to go. There's LeBron. Look at that pass to a cutting Anthony Davis for the layup. So the Lakers went on a 13-0 run to take the lead with 11.2 seconds left. That one hurt if you're Philly. Again, up 1. Who has the last shot? The Sixers do. Tobias Harris matched up on Alex Caruso, and watch Tobias pull up Jay to take the lead. Lakers, they don't have any timeouts. Davis gets the inbounds, and he throws up a half-court shot here. I mean, he tries. Not much else he could do there. Good D by the Sixers. They win by 1. Embiid had 28 and 6. LeBron 34, 6 and 6. What a battle it was. Here's Doc Rivers after.
They showed at the end of the game like champions. It's hard to kill them. Like, they just keep coming back. They keep believing. They kept making shots. It says that we're a good team. But for me, it says that we're really good, but we still have a lot of work still.
It's a really good team that they put together. Give a lot of credit to Elton Brand and the things that they're doing here. Obviously Doc has always won pretty much wherever he's been, and he got to play some really good basketball. So, we see as the season goes on, there's going to be a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference that's going to play championship basketball down the stretch. I know they believe that they're one of those teams.
And they should. If the Sixers could just play every game at home, Matt, they'd be unstoppable. Because since the start of last season, they're a ridiculous 39-3 at home, including 10-1 so far this season. That win, by the way, again, it's a big one. It also snapped the Lakers' streak of 10 straight road wins to start the season, and that was a franchise record for the Lakers. Let's now welcome in NBA champion Matt Barnes, who also, you guys know this at home, he played 14 seasons in the NBA, and yes, 2 with Doc Rivers as your Clippers head coach. Matt, thanks for joining us here in SportsCenter. Good to have you. Thanks for waking up so early. I know you're out west. Let's talk specifically about Doc. Why is he having so much success really immediately with Ben Simmons, with Joel Embiid, and this entire Sixers team?
Doc is a great motivator and inspirer, and I think he's just out there encouraging these guys to be themselves. And I think it obviously starts with Joel Embiid. He's playing at a MVP level. Ben Simmons is flirting around a triple-double every single game. But I think the key to this team is going to be Tobias Harris. And you remember, Tobias Harris had his best year as a pro with Doc Rivers as the Clippers coach. Tobias Harris looks very comfortable out there. He kind of seems like the go-to guy down the stretch, which Jimmy Butler used to be. Tobias Harris is stepping in that role. And like I said, I think he's the key to that team because they need someone down the stretch that can get him a bucket, and Tobias Harris is definitely that guy.
Yeah, you hear everybody saying Embiid and Simmons, but you say Tobias Harris. With the win last night, Matt, Philly now officially has the best record in the Eastern Conference after winning 7 of their last 8. What do you think? How do you think this plays out? You got Milwaukee and Giannis, of course, and the Brooklyn, the big 3 in Brooklyn starting to gel a little bit. How does this play out in the long run?
I think it's going to be competitive. We're still, a month and a half into the season. There's still a lot of season to play, but I love what I'm seeing from there. Just hoping with Philly that Embiid can stay healthy. When he fell yesterday, I felt that out in LA. Felt a little minor earthquake under me. So I think the key is obviously keeping him healthy. But the East is strong. We always just look to the